We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help.
Tonight, the desperate plea from Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie as the search for her mother continues for yet another night. Thanks for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kadiba Devine. A deadline in a possible ransom letter for Nancy Guthrie has officially lapsed without payment. The Guthrie family previously said that they were willing to pay for the return of their mother, but according to TMZ, no transactions have been made.
It's important to note the FBI still hasn't verified if any of the ransom notes are legitimate. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra continues her live coverage outside of Nancy Guthrie's house. And Gabby, what's the latest from investigators?
Well, Mark Caribe, the Pima County Sheriff's Department, tells us we could expect to see investigators back at the Guthrie residences both today and tomorrow as they conduct follow-up investigations on new leads they've received. Now, that's going to be here at Nancy's house, but also at her daughter Annie's house, who lives about 10 minutes away. We did not see any people searching the grounds here today at Nancy's house, but I want to point out to you that there is now a sheriff's deputy who has been staged at the home and will be here indefinitely at the request of the Guthrie family. The clock is ticking in the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie.
We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Today's show host Savannah Guthrie sharing a fourth video on Instagram since her mother is suspected to have been kidnapped from her Catalina Foothills home in Tucson on February 1st.
She was taken and we don't know where.
This latest video comes just a few hours before a deadline expired in a possible ransom letter demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin in exchange for Nancy's safe return. According to TMZ, the ransom has not been paid, something Savannah didn't address in the video despite previously vowing to pay it.
We believe our mom is still out there. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her.
A spokesperson for the FBI tells me they're not aware of any continued conversations between the Guthrie family and possible kidnappers. The FBI, along with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, has yet to identify a suspect or a person of interest in the case.
They are being transparent, but they're not going to give everything because they just can't at this point.
Well, new developments in this investigation feel slow moving. Troy Hillman, a retired Phoenix police detective, tells me there's likely a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes.
Well, the whole case is a kind of a powder keg pressure because of the high profile nature, and you've got the whole country and our world kind of looking over their shoulders. But they're very highly trained as a group. They're all working together and they're going to figure this out.
Savannah is pleading for help bringing her mom home.
I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement.
And we confirm that FBI Director Kash Patel is in Tucson this week on unrelated business. But an FBI spokesperson tells me he is being briefed on this investigation daily, and his plans could change while he's here. And I also want to remind you that there's a $50,000 reward being offered by the FBI for anyone who helps bring Nancy home or anyone who has information that leads to an arrest in this case. So if you have any information, you're asked to contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Live in Tucson, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Gabby, thanks. As the search for Nancy Guthrie continues, be sure and download the 12 Plus streaming app to see our latest coverage and any breaking updates on this case. That's where we'll also stream any news conferences or police updates. You can also find our streaming special on the Nancy Guthrie investigation that aired earlier this evening and watch for free.
Tonight, the Gila County Sheriff's Office is releasing some new details into a shooting that killed a teenager in Globe on New Year's Eve. Deputies released this picture here showing the suspect, 19-year-old Deshaun Tarango. Deputies are asking anyone who knows where he is to come forward. Tonight, deputies also clarified that the victim, Julian Quintana, was just 15 years old. Investigators believe the shooting happened after some sort of fight at a party. There is a $1,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest.
Tonight, new body camera footage shows the moments that Phoenix police shot and killed the wrong man while responding to an active shooter situation. It happened last month near 73rd Avenue and Lower Buckeye Road. Last week, Phoenix police admitted to shooting the wrong man.
12 News journalist Chase Golightly spent the day going over this video. And Chase, it's really dramatic. And what does it show?
Caribe Market is a very chaotic situation. Now, what we received today from Phoenix Police includes 911 calls, body camera footage, and security camera footage from that night. A warning to our viewers, it may be disturbing.
Christian Diaz died trying to protect his family from a gunman identified as Edgar Garcia, who came to Diaz's South Phoenix home and fired dozens of gunshots.
Phoenix 911, where is your emergency? There's somebody shooting.
Those shots could be heard in multiple 911 calls.
How many shots were fired? Edgar.
One of them hitting a 19-year-old inside.
They shot my brother in his ankle.
Garcia then gets inside.
They're in the back of our house. They're in the back of our house now. Hurry up, hurry up.
Security camera footage shows Diaz and another man wrestle Garcia to the ground. Phoenix police say they disarmed the suspect. In the video, you can see them hitting Garcia, holding him until police arrive.
They got him!
Body camera footage shows the first officers get to the scene.
Where's he at?
Neighbors and family screaming at them as they get closer, telling them the shooter is inside the house. What you don't hear is any gunshots being fired. The officer, who has been with Phoenix police for 5 years, is seen covering behind cars as he runs up to the home. He stops in the road and says this before firing one single shot.
Hey, show your fucking hands!
That shot didn't hit Garcia, but Diaz, killing him. The victim who was trying to save his family.
And the Phoenix Police Department failed.
Attorney David Shammy is representing the Diaz family, says while this was an incredibly chaotic situation, it shouldn't have ended like this.
I don't understand the thought process between showing up on the scene and making that decision to pull the trigger without knowing who you're shooting. It's just crazy to me.
Believing if the officer announced he was police or got closer to the altercation instead of standing in the street, Diaz's death could have been prevented by police.
Had he just taken a pause, a beat, Christian's probably alive today.
Now, I received this statement from Jarvis Rosas, the son of Christian Diaz. It says in part, quote, "We're glad that there's finally at least a little bit of transparency in terms of them finally releasing the footage and the audio call. We hope that nobody understands the way we feel and that nobody has to deal with the frustration." Today, we also learned Garcia, the suspect in this case, has been indicted by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, facing nearly a dozen counts, including first-degree murder. We're live in the studio. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. We have an update tonight on a deadly shooting in Tonopah. One woman died and a man and 2 children were critically hurt. Yesterday at around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office responded to Indian School and 438th Avenue. Deputies won't say whether the shooting happened in a home or along the road, but people who live in the area say the news is absolutely heartbreaking.
It's hard to put into words the tragedy it was and how heartbroken I am for the children, the family. And, you know, there's other ways to handle arguments besides using a gun. And I don't blame the gun, it's the person.
MCSO has not released the name of the victim. At this point, they're trying to notify family. Deputies say the shooting was an isolated incident and there is no ongoing threat.
New tonight, over 100 people were arrested for driving under the influence as part of this year's WM Phoenix Open Task Force. That is a 36% increase from last year. The governor's Office of Highway Safety says that officers made more than 1,000 traffic stops and 109 arrests for DUI. 35 of those arrests were drug-related. All of these arrests happened outside of the actual golf event. Scottsdale police are still working to release crime statistics from inside the tournament.
Well, Lindsay Riley's with us with our weather impact forecast. And Lindsay, after the weekend of weather we had at the Open, I think there'll be a certain number of people that'll probably be moving here.
Yeah, I would say so. We definitely showed off this weekend. We set a record on Sunday afternoon, and we were within 1 degree of a record outside today, topping out at 85 out at Sky Harbor. Right now, we've fallen back to 69. It's down to 26. Clear skies, light winds up in the high country, 48 degrees in Payson. Tomorrow's still going to be a warm day, but generally speaking, temperatures are going going to be trending down slowly throughout the week. Upper 70s by Wednesday and Thursday, mid 70s starting Friday. And then look what happens next Monday. That's closer to seasonal than we've been all month. We should be at 70 this time of year. What coincides with that is a couple of rain chances, a couple different Pacific storm systems moving onshore. And by Friday in the valley, we have a 20% chance for a shower, better chance up in the high country, but a better chance for the valley as we get into early next week, ranging between 20 and 30%. So tomorrow still warm, still mostly sunny and dry, 82. Temperatures begin to trend down slowly through the course of the week with that 20% chance for a shower on Friday. Now for the rim country, we could have a couple showers on radar as early as Wednesday, Thursday. Notice the clouds on Wednesday, but the best chance will be on Friday. And up in the mountains, same thing. Wednesday, Thursday, a passing very brief shower possible. Best chance Friday, and we'll have more chances early next week. Karibe?
All right, Lindsay, thank you. A debris spill caused a major mess on the I-10 in the West Valley during the evening rush hour. DPS tells us that hay spilled out of a semi-truck near the Loop 101. ADOT cameras in the area there captured crews there using their truck to try to push some of that debris off the highway. The eastbound lanes were closed for nearly 2 hours. The highway, though, reopened just around 7:30.
Trending tonight, Tucson police are trying to find the man that they say robbed a Girl Scout and her mom. Police say the man seen in these photos stole a money jar belonging to the 9-year-old girl. That girl had been selling cookies at the Tucson marketplace. Fortunately, the responding officers turned a horrible situation into an act of kindness. They came together and they bought 35 boxes of the Girl Scout cookies, helping her earn back some of the money that was stolen. If you know anything about this case, give Tucson police a call.